Uh-oh. Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm doing this right. Hello, everybody. Um, so I wanted to get on here real quick because I hope you guys can see me. This California sun is amazing, but it does not resonate with sleepiness. That's exactly what it is. So guys, I wanted to get on here real quick because yeah, I gotta talk about some stuff. And I wanted to okay, my name is Crystal, and this is my husband back here, but it's hot to Adrian. As you can see, I am on the truck with my husband, and we have been traveling like crazy. This coronavirus, COVID-19 has had truckers going bananas on the road. I mean, everywhere you look, there are truckers everywhere. So I wanted to get on here because Pamela Clincy, ma'am, you have prepared me for a world I was not ready for. So, okay, I took Pam's dispatching class a couple of months ago, and my whole plan was, okay, yeah, I'll just take it, and along with all the thousands of other jobs and stuff that I do. Sorry, the truck is moving because we're getting unloaded. So, I was going to add this along with my husband's job because I eventually wanted to start booking his loads and dispatching for him and for us to do our own thing instead of working for another company. So I knew that I was going to have to get my foot in somewhere. Well, push come to shove. Hold on just a second. Okay. Push come to shove, I had to get on the truck with him to actually, spend time with him, and we were just gonna go from that angle. Every single thing that I learned in Pam's training, I thought if I wasn't dispatching yet, maybe it wouldn't come in handy. That's what I thought. So far from the truth, because now I keep his company on their toes. They would come with some, request or, duty for Adrian to do while we're on the road. And I'm just kind of questioning like, no, that don't sound right. Or no, why don't they do it this way? Because most times truckers don't know the background work that goes with trucking. And he's a company driver, right? So he doesn't get all of the information for the loads and all of that stuff. And that's fine. That's fine. That's where we are. That's fine. So, in the training with Pam, I quickly found out that if you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, you really won't know what's going on with your load. And you really don't know the expectation of you as a driver. So I would explain things to Adrian to let him know that this was what they expect and this is what they're trying to say. Now, we work with a lot of foreign people that, English is their second language. And so that's a barrier right there. But you also want to look at the barrier that all the trucker is thinking about is driving. They're not thinking about that paperwork, especially if they're a company driver. They're just driving in home time, in sleep time, and where am I going, in weather conditions. So those are the concerns of a driver. But for dispatching, it's a whole new world. And with Pam's training, what it did for me was gave me some truth and reality that I was not ready for. For instance, I'll give you an example. Adrian would receive information in a text message from his DM, and his DM is in Nebraska. And of course, we live in Dallas-Fort Worth, and so he drives over the road all 50 states or 48 states, and his DM would just send him pick up address, drop off address, time slots. That's it. And I'm like, okay, you need to know a little bit more than this, or or we need some more information. And when we first did this, it was in the middle of winter. So there were a lot of things to consider. Is 80 shut down? Is 76 going to be shut down? Is 70 shut down? Like, we need to know, some things, which determines our professional level of delivering the load on time, and if there needs to be some adjustments and all of that. Well, in Pam's training, she told me, Crystal, you just have to communicate. That's the best thing. These brokers want that communication, especially from the people that are carrying the loads. I mean, what better communication could you get than from the ones carrying the load? So we started to communicate more with the DM, just saying, okay, where is this pickup, or send the Raycon. And they would send like bits and pieces of it, because we know that the Raycon includes payment information and, all of that. We're not concerned with that, because that part is irrelevant for a company driver. So they're kind of reluctant sometimes to send that information. But when they did start sending it, we had an expectation like, okay, we just had an incident happen in Jacksonville, Florida, where we had to go to the port. Now, in Pamela's training, she was like, Crystal, whatever that Raycon says, that's what you have to do. That is the legal binding agreement between that broker and that dispatcher, and you are a company driver, and that is exactly what your husband has to do. So on that Raycon, it said that, Adrian had to pay $50 for escort fee because he doesn't have a TWIC card. It's at the port, of course. It's a high security risk. Of course, this COVID-19 thing is going around, so that's extra security, measures on top of that. So for us, I'm like, okay, let me go back to my training. So on the paperwork, it said that he had to pay the $50. Well, I know that that's just not true. If you are a company driver, the company eats all costs, or the broker takes care of that before you even arrive. The company driver represents the company, right? So we dare not come out of our pocket with $50 and wait for a reimbursement from the company. No. So we, just easily pick up the phone, call this company, and was like, hey, there's an escort fee. This is how much it is. They wouldn't take like the check things or whatever. So they, sent it to his card, and he was able to the driver card, the debit card, and he was able to use it off of that. Now, if he had not asked, we would have been out of $50 and then have to wait for them to reimburse us for the $50 fee. But that small level of communication just allowed us just to know, hey, think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? You represent a company. There's no need for you to eat any costs. There's no need for, they are responsible for what happens to this load to some extent, just as you are. But you don't have to eat costs because you're carrying their load. So just that small thing, really helped me. And then I also want to talk about the fact that my learning style is really hands-on. I like to look at information, read information, but I also like to have an experience with the information. So what I learned in Pam's class is she allowed me to not only learn the information as far as what it looks like in words, but she allowed me to experience the information. So when we did our load boards and stuff like that, I was able to get deep in, what does this mean? Why are we even doing this? Do I have to do it the way you do it? Are there leeways to it? Can I go a different direction with it? What if I want to do that second? Do I have to do it first? And so she allowed me to experience that, not just tell me. We actually experienced it. I actually heard her on a phone call with, doing a load. I actually heard her, book a load. I actually, saw these things going on. I listened to the conversation. And for me, being a type of learner, I'm an educator. I teach children. So for me to be an educator and be able to verbalize to my students, I I care a lot about how information is verbalized to me. And she was able to just do that so easily. I truly appreciate that. Now, I've had some friends go with some other companies, and they've paid, thousands of dollars for classes. And when we speak about, MC and carrier and, just all of this stuff and FM, CSA, I mean, just all of that, they have no idea what I'm talking about, And this is not a video to promote Pam Clincy's training, class. This is to promote real. This is to promote there's real information out there, and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. And I know a lot of people, would go with another company because you pay more, and that's just not the case. I ask a ton of questions and I got the same answer every time, and so I just wanted to just kind of give kudos and give, flowers while, they're still beautiful, because this training class equipped me to be very productive on this truck with my husband. I do all of his paperwork. I carry that very, very hardly. I send all of his BOLs, all the paperwork to the DMs and brokers. I communicate with his company on his behalf. Of course, they don't know this. That's in the background. It's almost like he's doing it. But I know what it needs to look like for, him to eventually get paid and for the load to be complete and everybody to be happy. And so I've just learned so much, and that training just kind of opened the door for me. So I wanted to share my experience with you guys. And if you are considering doing training with Pam, you just really can't go wrong. I love her to pieces. So, ta-ta for now.